Well, hello. Welcome to Black Men Speak. It is a podcast live stream show that tries to feature black, ordinary black men doing extraordinary things. I'm your host, Keith Dent, and we are really knee deep into fall. And with that, and with school as well. And what that means reading. Reading is very, very important, and especially for our Black boys. And but we are having some challenges around that. So, in doing a little research, I ran across a study that was done in 2017 by the Black Star Project, and they were committed to improving academic and economic prosperity in Black and Latinx communities. And they worked through a variety of educational economic empowerment programs, workshops, and events to empower these communities of color. And so they published findings that just 10% of eighth grade Black boys in the US are considered proficient in reading. And they highlighted in urban areas such as Chicago and Detroit, the numbers are lower. And so in contrast, with white communities, and there was an assessment done, and I know it's a little older, back in 2013, they say that white students were 40, in eighth grade were 46% proficient. So that's a big, big gap between the two communities. So by Black boys having difficulties, what it happens, it not only affects their proficiency in high school and learning about all the other subjects, but also when they're deciding to go to college. And we're seeing that, Black boys are probably at the lowest. They're only about 1% higher than Hispanic young men, in enrolling in college. And so that's a very big disparity. And, we have to really figure out what we're going to do to kind of address that. But there is an organization out there that's trying to make that change. And they're actually trying to use fathers to do it. And the organization is called Fathers Incorporated. And so they work collaboratively with organizations around the country to identify and advocate for social and legislative changes that lead to a healthy father involvement with children, regardless of the father's marital or economic status or geographic location. And so the program is called Real Dads Read. And we're going to talk about it today with Lawrence Wilbon, and he serves as the Director of Business and Program Development for Fathers Incorporated. He's the director, so he's had over 24 years of nonprofit experience, which is great. That's awesome, being in the nonprofit space. I'm really excited to kind of talk about, what they're doing there and the excitement. So I'm really glad to do that. In previous positions, he's served as executive director of a local nonprofit, and he's all married with 2 children, and he resides in the metro Atlanta area. And oddly enough, this is kind of a 6 degrees separation thing. If anybody listened last week, he knows the guest there, 2 weeks ago, he knows the guest that was on, Dr. Armand Perry. So I'll really be excited to pull him up. We're having some technical difficulty. So once he comes back in, I will load him in. But the name of the organization is called Fathers Incorporated. And so let's see, they have a great, they have a great platform. They have this thing that's called a blueprint. We're going to talk about that. What are the things that they do? The goal, the blueprint, is to promote responsible fatherhood and improve and eliminate negative stereotypes of Black fathers, particularly in low-income rates. So we can't wait to really address that. And so let's see. I'll give you a few minutes. I think we're having some he was having some technical difficulties I think, with his computer. So, when you think about, father reading, there's a lot of programs out there where you deal with uh, reading. And I think a lot of times it's trying to find the right books to read, and finding books that young men are really excited about. And that could be a challenge depending on um, what it is that they're interested in. A lot of, a lot of books. When I was a kid, I was really excited about mystery books. I read a lot of mystery books to ensure that there was a lot of intrigue, a lot of mystery. I like the characters, and until to this day, it's really one of my favorites. I taught Larry Sanders. The Prey series books are books that I read regularly, but I'm also read a lot of books about from Black authors. Walter Mosley is one of my favorites. I'm reading right now a book by Major Taylor about his life, a biography, and it's pretty exciting. Being a cyclist, I really enjoy reading that book. So if you're listening, I'd love to hear, while we wait for our guest, is what are some of your favorite books that really helped you enjoy your love of reading? Was it, what children's book did you enjoy? Um, I know as a father, it was very um, imperative that we read to our kids. So one of my favorite books was, let's see, I loved to read was Corduroy. To read a Corduroy a lot. I would read Snowy Day. Snowy Day is a book that's been around for a long time. But also the one of the things I really liked reading was the phonics books, and just teaching them how to make sound and all the letters and things like that. And I think we got it as a gift and used it for my daughter Olivia, and then my son Nicholas. I'm sorry, Maxwell. When we got to Nicholas, he was just not having it. He did not want to go through the phonics books, and it was challenging to get him to read it. And but what's so interesting is that I wonder if it really equates, because of those challenges, it equates to who enjoys reading and who doesn't enjoy reading as much. So my two sons don't read as much as I think my daughter does. And so what is it about books that make it difficult, where I guess young men don't read as much? I would love to hear that, and kind of get a gauge on what those issues are. Hmm. Well, as they say in show business, these things happen, and we don't have an emergency guest. So, um, guess that will end the broadcast for tonight. But thank you if you logged in, and hopefully we'll be able to get this thing rolling again next week. All right. Thank you, and you have a good night. This is Keith Dent from Black Men Speak Podcast. Peace.